They are no better than ambulance chasers, she wrote, labeling their visit a repulsive photo op.
Meghan Markle has a hate tag on her back, and Hollywood is fuming because of this PR stunt. Dubbed a disaster tourist, even her celebrity allies are calling her out. Is this the end of Meghan's Hollywood fairy tale?
Their actions, framed as charitable, have sparked accusations of opportunism and disaster tourism. Critics label their efforts as hollow performances rather than heartfelt aid.
She and Prince Harry decided to make an appearance at the sites of the recent California wildfires, and let's just say that it did not go as planned. They showed up in Pasadena, mingling with the mayor and handing out supplies to those affected by the fires. Sounds kinda noble, right? But here's where it gets juicy. A lot of people felt it was less about helping and more about grabbing the spotlight.
The actions itself are exploitative and parasitical.
Yeah, critics were quick to label their visit as disaster tourism. Actress Justine Bateman didn't hold back, calling their appearance a repulsive photo op and questioning their motives. She even went as far as to compare them to ambulance chasers, suggesting that they were exploiting the tragedy for personal gain. But that's not all. Meghan released an Instagram video where she talked about securing Billie Eilish merchandise for a teenager who lost everything in the fires. And, instead of coming off as heartfelt, a lot have found the video awkward and really self-indulgent. Yeah, critics accused her of name-dropping celebrities like Adam Levine to boost her image, but it gets even worse.
Instead, their presence has sparked accusations of opportunism, leaving many wondering, are they heroes, or is this another chapter in their PR playbook?
The entertainment industry, which once welcomed Meghan with open arms, seems to be turning its back on her. Comedian John Mulaney took a jab at the couple during a Netflix event, mocking their failed projects and receiving laughs from the audience. Even Kelly Osbourne chimed in, expressing her disdain for celebrities using tragedies as photo ops. While she didn't expressly drop names, fans speculated she was referring to Meghan and Harry. She called the behavior disturbing and urged such celebrities to go home. Even Victoria Beckham, once considered a friend, seems to be distancing herself. Her new Netflix series is receiving significant attention and praise, while Meghan and Harry's projects have faced criticism and neglect from the streaming giant. The term disaster tourist has been thrown around, with many feeling that Meghan and Harry are exploiting tragedies for their benefit. This sentiment is echoed by various celebrities and public figures who've openly criticized their actions. Critics are raising their eyebrows again. It's only a matter of time before they fly off their faces at this point, saying that Meghan's got a habit of popping up during major crises, making sure cameras are rolling as she swoops in to help. But is it really about charity, or is there a bigger PR strategy at play here? Now, some are calling it a disaster tourist spectacle, a calculated move to keep her name trending. And honestly, when you look at the pattern, it's kind of hard to ignore it. Meghan's got a well-documented history of bringing media attention to her so-called charitable efforts. But is it all just another perfectly curated performance? But, there's more to it. Social media is buzzing with speculation about her latest public appearances. A lot of people are questioning the timing, the perfectly captured photos, and of course the scripted-sounding statements. One user even pointed out, notice how she always shows up when the cameras do but disappears when the real work begins? Yikes. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time that she's been accused of this. Hollywood and the royal family alike have seen their fair share of stars using tragedy as a way to boost their brand. But Meghan, well, her royal past makes it even messier. A lot of people believe that somebody with her influence ought to be leading by example, not staging appearances for a good headline. I wish that was it, but it's not, because the backlash is getting louder. Yeah, former fans are turning on her, saying that they feel duped by what they once thought was sincerity. X is even full of disappointed posts, and even some diehard supporters are asking, is Meghan Markle just another PR queen? Yadoy. One thing's for sure, people are watching closely in today's digital world, because authenticity is everything. And if Meghan's not careful, the public might just decide that they've had enough. Maybe that's why they're hating on her new show as well, right? And guess what? She has apparently pushed dates for the show due to the forest fires. Now is this also a PR stunt?
Postponed from early January until March the 4th, while the selfless Duchess focuses on, and I quote, the needs of those impacted by the wildfires in my home state of California.
Originally set to drop on January 15th, the show's been pushed back to March 4th, and Meghan claims it's out of respect for those affected by the California wildfires. I mean, that sounds really super considerate, right? But the internet isn't convinced. In fact, a lot of people think this is just another classic Meghan PR move. Cause come on, let's be real, this isn't the first time she's been accused of using a tragedy to her advantage. Caring about the victims? More like she just doesn't want to compete with the headlines. Looking for proof? Look at her sudden and uninvited appearance in Uvalde, Texas, following the devastating school shooting in May of 2022.
My name is Brittany, and today we are talking about Meghan Markle's trip to Texas, in what can only really be described, I think, as a ill-gotten or ill-conceived publicity stunt that I think
the country was in mourning after what happened at Robb Elementary School, and then out of nowhere, Meghan Markle appears to save the day.
because regardless of how well-intentioned this was, it just looked like a publicity stunt. Regardless of, whether you like Meghan or don't like Meghan.
She wasn't invited by the victims' families, local officials, or even community leaders, but yet she still showed up, cameras conveniently in tow, and was photographed placing a bouquet of white roses at a memorial site. The moment was carefully captured. Meghan, solemn-faced, kneeling by the memorial, making sure the world saw her, paying her respects. But here's the problem. That's literally all she did. She didn't meet with grieving parents, didn't offer support to the families, didn't coordinate with local relief efforts. She came, she posed, and then she left. Within hours, glossy images of her emotional visit were all over the media, making people puke. Now, some locals were furious, saying her presence was more disruptive than helpful. One community member reportedly said if she really cared, she would have reached out to the families privately, not turned it into a press event. Critics quickly labeled the visit a PR stunt disguised as compassion. Now, some pointed out that other public figures and politicians also visited, but they did so behind closed doors, actually meeting with the families in their time of need. Meghan, on the other hand, made sure that her visit was front and center in the media as always. One journalist bluntly put it, she had no real reason to be there other than to be seen there.
Aren't we wonderful? Have some soup. Look at us helping everybody. My initial personal reaction was to vomit.
When devastating wildfires tore through Maui in 2023, countless families lost their homes, their livelihoods, and in some cases, their loved ones. The island was in chaos, with emergency responders and local volunteers working around the clock to provide food, shelter, and aid. And then, like clockwork, enter our saviors, Harry and Meghan. Their Aquel Foundation made headlines for announcing their commitment to relief efforts. But here's the twist. A lot of locals claim they never actually saw any real help from them. Instead, the couple's involvement seemed to center around a handful of well-lit, professional-looking photos taken at a donation center. Meghan was seen smiling, organizing supplies, and looking concerned for the cameras. But some people couldn't help but wonder, was this really about helping or just about being seen helping? Coincidence? A lot of people don't think so. And this really isn't an isolated incident either. Let's go way back to 2019. So after hurricanes devastated parts of the Caribbean, Meghan and Harry flew in for what was heavily marked as a relief mission. But the reality? According to critics, the trip looked more like a global PR tour. Yeah, there were plenty of photo ops. Meghan shaking hands with local officials. Meghan walking through damaged areas in carefully styled outfits and offering sympathetic nods. But where was the actual aid? Some skeptics noted that while other organizations were rolling up their sleeves and doing the hard work, Meghan and Harry's visit seemed focused on media coverage rather than meaningful assistance. So what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below and we'll see you next time.